Good day, everyone. Good day, reviewers. Welcome for this review, and I am Mr. Eric Montes in EOcenar, and I will be your review master for business mathematics. And this time, we will be dealing some of the concepts, no, and some of the topics in business mathematics. Okay, and the coverage of this review are the following. We will be discussing about the percentage, no, and we will be dealing some problems involving percentage, and we will also be discussing and reviewing about the simple interest and the compound interest. Okay, and these three is, our focus for this review. And starting with the percentage, and by definition, in mathematics, percentages are used like fractions and decimals as ways to describe parts of a whole. It is a term from Latin which means out of 100. I know that we are very familiar and you are already familiar with the percentage, its definition, okay? And we will be dealing actually, focus na lang tayo or proceed tayo sa problems involving percentage. And there are actually three kinds of percentage problems. And let us focus first, or let us take a look first, this and consider this statement. X percent of Y is Z. And as you can observe, the variables X, Y, and Z are highlighted, It's because these three determines, the three kinds of percent problems, because it could be the X is the unknown, Y is the unknown, or sometimes it is the Z, yung unknown, okay? When the X is unknown, the construction of the question actually is this way, We have here an example question. What percent of 44 is 44? Meaning, we are looking for the percent. How many percent is 44 out of 44? So, ibig sabihin, the percent is the unknown, and that is the X. And there are times naman na yung Y is yung unknown. And an example question here is, 58 is 25% of what number? This is a different problem, percentage problem, because this time the percent is given and we are actually looking for a number in which 25% of that number is 58, okay? And this is another and a different percentage problem compared siyahan kanina nga X and aton unknown, wherein you are actually looking for the percent. And there are times naman na Z yung unknown. And an example question of that is, what is 88% of 5,000? And it's and it's a different thing naman, compared kanina duha. So yun na, zero talent unknown, and you are looking for actually the part, the part from the whole, part of the whole, which is 5,000, and you're looking for the 88% of 5,000. Okay? And these are the three kinds of percent problems. And for us to know and for us to refresh, on how and the process of solving these three kinds of percent problems, let's get into some examples. And let's start with the simple percentage problem. And we have number one. What is 35% of 80? And again, in a given percentage problem, from simple to more complex percentage problem, the very first thing that you have to identify is the unknown. Is it the X, is it the Y, or is it the Z? For us to identify and for us to determine kung ano yung unknown, para at least malaman natin kung paano natin kukuhanin yung answer. Okay, in this case, so what is the unknown? Is it the X? Is it the Y? Or is it the Z? No? Again, yung kinukuha natin is the parts from the whole, which is 80. The 35% of 80, and that is the Z, diba? The Z is the unknown here. Okay. And to find, to answer that, we are just actually going to multiply the percent times the whole or the given whole number, which is 80. Okay? And yung 35%, kapag naka-percent form siya, we are going actually to convert first the percent form of a number to decimal before multiplying it to the given number. No, kinukuhaan natin ng parts from the whole. Okay, that is why we have here 35 divided by 100 times 80. Because you might be wondering, bakit naka-divide yung 35 sa 100? Because that is the process. I know that you know this already. That we have to convert the percent to decimal by dividing it by 100. So we have here 35 divided by 100 times 80. And that is 0.35 times 80, and z is equal to 28. Meaning to say, 35% of 80 is 28. No? Because this problem is actually the very simple percentage problem. Okay? I hope you understand and nahabol yung process, no? Yung discussion at saka explanation. But I know for sure na you are already familiar with this because this is the very simple percentage problem. Okay? So let's have here another example. 45% of what is 9. Okay? 45% of what is 9. Now, let us determine again what is the unknown. Is it the x, is it the y, or is it the z? So, what is the unknown here? It is the what? It is the y. Okay? Diba? Because yung y, that is the number na unknown in which 45% of that specific number is 9. Meaning to say, the unknown here is y. And to answer that, we are going to represent it by an equation. Okay? And we have here 45 over 100 times y. And what is that y? That number is equal to 9. Because remember, to get 9, diba, to get the 45% of that number, no, we have to multiply the percentage, which is actually converted first to decimal, times that specific number, y. And that should be equal to 9. So we have here the equation 45 over 100 times y is equal to 9. Okay, nakuha ba? Nakuha ba ini nga equation kung kaya nakasugad? It's because that is the representation of the problem because y yung unknown natin. And after having that equation, we are actually going to simplify, no, to solve lang the equation, to solve for the value of y since y yung unknown natin. Okay? And this is actually an equation which involves, no, a rational equation. And that 45, pwedeng i-simplify, 45 divide 100, that is 0.45y is equal to 9. And a simple linear equation, find the value of y by dividing both sides by 45. Okay? And just simplify again, 0.45y divided by 0.45 is equal to 9 over 0.45, and that is y is equal to 20 because 9 divided by 0.45 is 20, which means that 45% of 20 is 9, or in other way around, 9 is the 45% of 20. You can actually check that, no? I-check mo kung tama yung naging sagot natin. Kailangan i-multiply mo yung 45 over 100 times 20 and it will equal to 9. Okay? You can check it, no, sa calculator nyo or dyan sa inyo. Machi-check nyo yan kung tama yung sagot natin. Okay? I hope na klaro yung process, na sundan no yung explanation because we will be proceeding to another example. Let's have here. What percent is 40 of 160? Okay, let us now determine again what is the unknown. Is it the x, is it the y, or is it the z? Kanina, nakuha na natin yung example natin, yung unknown yung z at unknown yung y. And this type of problem, no, this question actually, yung unknown naman natin is yung yung x, 'di ba? Because kanina tapos na natin yung z at saka y, so dito naman is the unknown is x. You are looking for the percent or the percentage. How many percent of 40 is 160? Ibig sabihin, out of 160, ilang porsyento ba yung 40? Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung 40 as a part of 160 is how many percent? And again, we are going to represent the problem with an equation. We have here x is equal to 40 over 160 times 100. Bakit may 40 over 160 times 100? Because if we are looking for the percent lang, if we are looking only for the percentage of a number out of another number, out of a whole number, we are actually going to divide lang yung part yan na yung part na number out o divided by sa whole na number. So we have here 40 divided by an whole part niya, which is 160. Naka-multiply siya sa 100 is because sa 40 over 160, that is in decimal form. Para makuha natin yung percent form or yung percentage form, i-multiply natin siya ng 100. Okay? So 40 divide 160 is 0.25 times 100 para maging percent form siya, so that will equal to 25%, which means that 40 is 25% of 160. Okay? You can check that again. Okay? Pwedeng i-check nyo yan kung tama ba yung sagot natin. Kailangan yung 25% of 160, kailangan 40. So you can multiply 25 over 100 times 160 and that will equal to 40. Okay? Maliwanag ba? Maliwanag yung sana, no? Maliwanag yung explanation at nasundan, no? And actually, you can practice more, no? Marami namang available na mga questions dyan sa internet and sa books about this. Okay? And actually, yung percentage problem, yung percentage, no, one of its application actually is yung markdown at saka yung increase ng price, okay, of a particular item. So number 4, magbibigay tayo ng example na nag-involve siya sa markdown, no, about sa price ng specific item. So let's have here an example. An item that regularly sells for 425 is marked down to 318.75. What is the discount rate? Okay. We are looking for the discount rate. Medyo naging complex na siya. Kanina kasi is direct lang, then simple percentage problem. Pero dito is parang real life situation na, yung application na ng percentage concepts. Okay? So as we can observe in the given problem, the unknown is the discount rate, meaning to say the percent, diba? The percent. Yung percent natin, so ibig sabihin yung unknown natin is the x, no? Same with number 3. Yung x, yung unknown. And para makuha, no? Para makuha yung percent, yung first step na gagawin natin is kailangan malaman natin kung ilan ba ang naging amount ng markdown. Ibig sabihin, ilan ba yung nabawas from the original price bago siya or kaya siya naging 318.75 na lang yung price niya. Okay? And makukuha natin yan actually kapag isa-subtract lang natin, we're just going to find the difference between the original price times the new price na 318.75. Wherein kapag isinabtract natin, yung difference nila is 106.25. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung nabawas is 106.25. Yan po yung nabawas sa original price. Then after finding, after determining the markdown or the amount of the markdown, we can now solve for the percent. Parang yung kukunin lang natin actually is how many percent of 106.25 out of 425 na original price. And that is now similar question and similar thing sa number 3. We are looking for the percent. 106.25 is how many percent of 425? And now we can calculate the markdown rate. Same process with the in finding the x. Okay, we have here 425x is equal to 106.25. Bakit ganito yung equation? Kasi given yung x is the, what we call this one, x is the discount rate. Diba? Let x be the discount rate of the item, yung price ng items. Pag i-multiply natin sa original price ng 425, yung kalalabasan niya is 106.25, which is the amount of the markdown. That is why yung equation natin is 425 times x, or times the rate or the markdown rate, and that is equal to 106.25. Okay? And we have here a simple linear equation, and to find the value of x, we are going to divide both sides by 425. Then simplify. 425x divided by 425 is equal to 106.25 divided by 425, and that is equal to 0.25, or in percent form, that is 25%. Nag-multiply lang tayo ng 100 sa 0.25. That is 25%. Ibig sabihin, 106.25 is 25% of 425. And ibig sabihin din na yung item is naka 25% less, or naka-discounted siya ng 25%. Okay? Maliwanag ba? Klarado ba ang explanation? And I hope no, naklaro nga nasundan ang aton explanation. Okay? Klarado ba? Okay, because we will proceed to another example. And again, as what I have been telling, no, when given a problem that involves percent, no, the very first thing that you should identify is what is the unknown. Is it the x, is it the y, or is it the z, for you to easily identify, no, and determine as how you are going to solve the problem. Okay? And actually, yung pag-solve ng percentage problem, it could be done also, yung process is pwedeng gamitin yung concept, no, in solving the proportion. I know that you are familiar already with the proportion in fundamentals of mathematics, no, yung ratio and proportion. Pwede siyang magamit actually sa pag-solve ng percentage problem. And this is another way of solving percentage problem. And to know how it works, let's have here an example. Okay? A concert hall has 400 seats, of which 325 are occupied, and express the attendance at a percent of capacity. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung kinukuha naman natin dito is, ano yung unknown? Is it the x, y, or z? It is yung percent naman. So, it is the x. Okay? Yung kinukuha natin is ilang porsyento ba yung na-occupied na seats out of the 100% capacity ng concert hall, which is 400 seats. And now, the question actually can be stated as what percent of 400 is 325, and that makes x as the unknown. Okay? Parang at least mas simplify siya, mas naiintindihan yung question, no? Mas madaling maintindihan rather. What percent of 400 is 325, and we are looking for the value of x. And that, we have here the proportion, no? The proportion that would represent the problem. Again, we are going to use the concept now in solving proportion. This is another way to solve percentage problem. So we have here 325 is to 400 as x is to 100. Bakit 325 is to 400? Because 325 out of 400 yung na-occupied na seats sa concert hall. And that is actually proportioned to x as to 100. Ibig sabihin, yung 325 is x percent out of 100%. So, these are proportioned. Yung 325 is to 400 as x is to 100. And paano gamitin or paano ba mag-solve ng proportion? I hope na naaalala pa, no? Kung paano gamitin or paano mag-solve ng proportion. And that is only by multiplying the means and multiplying the extremes. Okay? Imumultiply lang natin yung extremes at saka yung means. And yung means natin dito is 400 at saka x, and extremes is 325 and 100. Okay, just multiply 325 times 100, that is 32,500, and 400 times x, that is 400x. Okay, and to find the value of x, simply divide both sides by 400 and simplify, that is x is equal to 81.25%. Ibig sabihin, 81.25% yung na-filled or na-occupied na seat sa concert hall. Saan tayo kumuha ng 81.25? Actually, yung 32,500 divided by 400, minultiply natin siya ng 100 para maging percent form siya. Kaya, diretso lang tayo dito ng 81.25%. And which means that 325 is 81.25% of 400. Or, in conclusion, in the problem, 81.25% yung na-occupied na seats sa concert hall. Okay? Maliwanag? I hope na maliwanag again or klarado ang explanation. Because we will proceed to another example. Let's have here. 71% of the Earth's surface, that's about 362,100,000 square kilometers, is covered by water. Use this information to find the total surface area of the Earth. And what is the unknown here? No? In this problem naman, let us determine kung ano ang unknown. Is it X, Y, or Z? And as we can observe, no, as we observe the question, yung kinukuha lang kasi is yung problem, yung 362,100,000 is 71% of what number? Yan po yung sinasabi lang ng problem, which is yung total surface area of the Earth, yung kinukuha natin dito sa problem na to. Okay, and the question actually can be stated again as 71% of what number is 362,100,000, and that makes Y as the unknown. Okay, at least mas simplified siya ngan, mas madali maintindihan. Ano ba ang gibibilinghan problem? Is it the number in which 71% of that number is 362,100,000. And we can have it through proportion, no? We have here the proportion, 362,100,000 is to Y, because Y is the unknown and Y is the whole part, no? Yung bugos na part or the surface area of the Earth. That is why 362,100,000 out of Y, which is the total surface area of the Earth. Proportion to 71 as to 100. Ibig sabihin, 71% of 100% yung na-covered ng water. Okay? And again, to solve the proportion, you just have to multiply the means and the extremes. Okay? We have here y times 71 is 71y, 362,100,000 times 100 is 36,210,000,000. Okay, and to find the value of y, divide both sides by 71 and simplify. That is 510 million. Okay, and in conclusion, the Earth's surface area is about 510 million square kilometers. And 362,100,000 is 71% of 510 million. Okay? Naintindihan again? I hope naintindihan. Okay? And at least nare-refresh, no, yung process ng pag-solve ng proportion given a percentage problem. Okay, let's proceed to this another problem. Okay, so it says the residents of a state were surveyed about their opinion of the public education system. 12% said good, 54% said bad, and the rest said no opinion. If 650 people were surveyed, how many said no opinion? Okay? And again, let us determine what is the unknown here. Is it the X, is it the Y, or is it the Z? And as we observe, no, the given question or the given problem, you are actually looking for the number, no, for the number of people who said no opinion. Ibig sabihin, the unknown here is the Z. And the very first thing that we are going to do here to solve this problem is we are going to find first the percent, no? The percent of people or the percentage of people who said no opinion before we get the number of people who said no opinion. And to do that, we have here 12 plus 54 plus C. Saan ba nakuha or ano ba ini? Na 12, 54, and C. Yung 12 is yung 12% na nagsabi ng good, di ba? Yung 54 said bad, and C, yung C natin is yung the percentage of people who said no opinion. Wherein, if you're going to add this 3 percentage, that will equal to 100%. Or yung 100% ng ating respondents or yung residents or those people surveyed. Thus, 12 plus 54, 12% plus 54% plus C%, no, is equal to 100%. Then simplify by combining like terms, that is 12 plus 54, that is 66 plus C is equal to 100. And to find the value of C, simplify the given equation, and by addition property of equality, add both sides by -6, and that is C is equal to 34%. Saan nakuha yung 34% again? That is 100 minus 66. And that means that 34% of 650 said no opinion. And the problem actually can be stated as, what is 34% of 650? And now, Z is the unknown. And to find the Z, or to the number of people who said no opinion, just simply multiply 34 over 100 times 650, and that is 221. In conclusion, 221 people said no opinion. Okay? Ibig sabihin, may 221 out of 650 said no opinion. And again, as what I have been telling, di ba, yung proportion is nagagamit actually siya sa pag-solve ng percentage problem. So I will show to you the process yung pag-solve nito using the proportion, and let's see if same result yung makuha. Okay, we have here yung proportion natin out of this question is Z is to 650 because Z is the number of people who said no opinion out of 650, total number of people surveyed as 34 is to 100. Ibig sabihin, 34% of 650 out of 100 yung 100% respondents yung nagsabi ng no opinion. And again, to solve the proportion, just multiply the extremes and the means. At kapag ganito yung form, no, because this is another way of writing proportionality or proportion. So, kung ganito, no, a fraction is equal to a fraction, you just have to cross-multiply, di ba? Yung sinasabi natong cross-multiplication, you can do it here. So, Z times 100, that is 100Z. 650 times 34, that is 22,100. And find the value of Z by dividing both sides by 100, and that is Z is equal to 221. And we have the same results. Okay? I hope that everything is clear. No, I am making myself clear to you about this matter. Okay? And I have here actually two questions. And you can try answering this problem in your own. So, kahit anong papel dyan, no, may ballpen ka, may papel dyan, so pwedeng isolve nyo using yung concept o yung process natin na ginawa kanina. And I have here two questions. You can actually pause this video and answer first. Then, kung may sagot ka na, kung may answers ka na, you can replay the video, then i-check mo kung tama yung sagot. Then I will actually highlight the correct answers here and just check no kung same yung sagot. Okay? Then I will now show the correct answers. And the correct answers are, number 1 is letter C and yung number 2 is letter A. Okay? I hope nakuha, no? May nakuha yung tamang sagot. Okay? And now, we will proceed naman sa simple interest, no? And before we get into examples, no, problems of simple interest, let us first define some of the terminologies in simple interest. We have here the interest. It is the cost of borrowing money where the borrowed pays a fee to the lender for the loan and is typically expressed as a percentage, can be either simple or compound. Okay? Yung interest lang is, kumbaga, ang tubo, no? In waray-waray term, yung tubo. And I know that we are very familiar with this, especially sa utang, no? Yung utang is what we call the interest. And it could be either simple or compound. Okay? And simple interest. What is simple interest? It's the amount of interest due per period as a proportion of the amount lent and deposited or borrowed. And we have here another term. We have the principal amount or the face value. And the principal amount or the face value, it is only the original sum of money borrowed in a loan or put into an investment. Okay? Yung principal amount, ito lang po yung, kumbaga, an imo ginutang. Kumbaga, an initial na amount. An imo ginutang, that is what we call the principal amount or the face value. Okay? And another one, we have the future value or the maturity value. It only refers to a method of calculating how much the principal amount of an asset or cash will be worth at a specific time in the future. Yung future value lang naman or yung maturity value, ito po yung sum, no? Yung sum ng principal amount plus yung interest. Kumbaga, yung binayaran na at the end sa pag-imo pagbayad din imo utang, kumbaga ang initial amount ang imo ginutang plus ang imo tubo, ang tawag ito is the future value or the maturity value. Okay? And of course, time is the period at which money is borrowed or deposited and normally expressed in months or years. Or kung pira ka tuig, pira ka bulan, o pira ka adlaw ang imo pagbayad din imo utang or ang imo pag-invest. Okay? And the following are the formula in calculating, and we are going to use in answering the different problems involving simple interest. And starting with the formula in finding the future value. And to find the future value, we have here A is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus R times T, wherein P is total accrued amount or the principal amount plus the interest. Okay, yung future value, di ba? Yung P, principal amount, yung R, interest rate, in decimal, no? When we are actually solving na using the formula, yung interest rate dapat naka-decimal form siya. And T is time, period, in years. And another formula in interest, kapag yung interest lang yung gusto mong malaman, or kunin kung magkano ba yung interest, just simply, we have the formula I is equal to P or T. Again, P is principal amount, R is interest rate, and T is time, period, in years. Okay? And for the principal amount, we have P is equal to I over RT, time is T is equal to I over P, R, then yung rate natin is R is equal to I over PT. This is actually parang na-derive lang siya sa interest na formula. Okay, and let's have here an example. Okay, example number 1, a 2-year loan of 5,000 pesos is made with 4% simple interest. Then find the interest earned. Okay, and the unknown here or yung isosolve natin is yung interest natin. Okay? And let's start with the given. In solving a problem like this, let us start with the given. So in the given, we have the principal amount of 5,000. The interest rate, we have 4% rather. Then T is 2 years and I is the unknown. And to find the interest, just simply use the formula. I is equal to PRT. Then substitute the given of PR and T. We have 5,000 for P, 0.04 for R, then T is 2. Then simplify, multiply the 3 terms. So we have 400 pesos. Ibig sabihin, after 2 years, with 4% simple interest, yung 5,000 tutubo siya ng 400. Okay? I hope na klaro. And let's have here, again, the interest earned is 400. Let's have another example. A small business takes out 10,000 pesos at a rate of 7.5%. What is the total amount the business will repay if the loan is for 8 years? Okay? And in answering again the problem, let's start with the given. The given in the problem, we have the principal amount 10,000, the interest rate 7.5%, the time is 8 years, at yung unknown natin is yung A or yung future value. Magkano ba lahat-lahat yung babayaran niya after 8 years? Kung yung 10,000 pesos is may interest siya na 7.5%. Okay, just use the formula again. A is equal to P times 1 plus RT, and substitute the given 10,000 plus the quantity of 1 plus the product of 0.05 times 8, and that is equal to 16,000. Ibig sabihin, after 8 years, yung 10,000 with 7.5 simple interest is yung future value niya is 16,000. Ibig sabihin, yung tubo niya is magkano? 6,000. Just subtract 16 minus 10,000. Okay? And in conclusion, the business will pay back a total of 16,000 after 8 years. Klarado? Klarado ba? No? I hope nasusundan an explanation. No? Okay? Let's have here another example. Maria deposits 50,000 in a bank. After 5 years, her money accumulated to 75,000. Find the interest rate. Yung problem naman natin dito is to find the interest rate. Ibig sabihin, yung unknown is the R. And again, let's start with the given. P is 50,000. A is 75,000. T is 5 years. And I is 25%. And yung R is yung unknown. Okay? And to find the R, let's use the formula R is equal to I over the quantity P times T. Then substitute. I is 25,000. Saan natin nakuha yung 25,000? Given yung accumulated or yung future value is 75,000. Yung principal or yung initial amount is 50,000. Let's find their difference, and that is the interest. That is 25,000. Kaya 25,000 yung I natin. Okay? Then P is 50,000. Yung T is 5 because 5 years. Then simplify, we have 0.1 times 100 to make it percent form, so 10%. Ibig sabihin, yung 50,000, kailangan may 10% simple interest siya para after 5 years maging 75,000. Okay? And another example, find the principal amount when a 4-year loan gets an interest of 4,000 at 4% interest rate. Yung problema natin dito is to find the principal amount. Given the accumulated value after 4-year nga loan is 4,000 in a 4% interest rate. Again, let's start always with the given. T is 4 years. I is 4,000 and yung R is 4% and P is the unknown. And use the formula for P, which is I over RT, then substitute the given. I is 4,000, R is 0.04, and T is 4. Simplify, then we have 25,000. Kailangan 25,000 yung i-loan para after 4 years na 4% interest rate, magkakaroon siya ng tubo na 4,000. Okay? I hope it is clear. And I have here a question again to answer. Again, you can pause this video and try to answer there, no? Pwede ka mo mag-answer nga da, iyo, try pag-solve, then just replay the video for you to see if you have a correct answer. Okay? And I will highlight again here the correct answer. And that is letter A. I hope na nakuha yung correct answer. Okay? And this time, we will proceed to compound interest. And in definition, compound interest is the interest on loan or deposit calculated based on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from previous years, or that is only simply the interest on interest. Refers to the phenomenon whereby the interest associated with the bank account, loan, or investment increases exponentially rather than linearly over time. Actually, yung compound interest is ganito lang yung bakit siya naging interest on interest. Kasi unlike, di ba, yung nangyayari sa simple interest, for example, nag-loan ka ng 10,000, no? Yung 10,000 for 2 years, that may annual interest siya na, for example, 10%. So 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So bali, yung ibig sabihin lang kasi ng simple interest, actually is every year, tutubo siya ng 1,000. Yung principal amount lang, kung ilan lang yung ang imuging borrow na money. For example, 10,000, every month, ang kukumputan lang ang interest is yung 10,000 lang. For first year, ay siyahan nga tuig, no? 10,000 times 10%, that is 1,000. So, bali, may 1,000 ka natubo after 1 year. Then, pag another year liwat, for the following year, another kaliwat, 10,000 times 0.01 or 10%. So, another 1,000 siya. Pero, sa compound interest, that is another problem or a different thing. Kasi yung nangyayari sa compound interest, for example, halimbawa, no, yung ginawa nating example kanina, 10,000 yung nung binago mo, no, kumbaga mo ginhuram, 10,000, tapos for 2 years, may 10% interest. Yung mangyayari, tapos compounded annually, no, compounded annually. Ibig sabihin, for first year, na siyahan nga tuig, pagkuhaan tubo, ang imo kukumputan is yung 10,000 lang. For example, 10,000 times annually man kasi so 10% lang siya. So, nakakausaliya ka beses, sa usa ka tuig annually man lang, compounded annually. So, yung mangyayari, 10,000 times 0.01, that is 1,000. Ibig sabihin, in 1 year, tumubo in 1,000. At imo naging future value is 1,000, o 10,000, or 11,000 rather. 10,000 plus 1,000 nga tubo is 11,000. Pag-compute mo naman, imo ikaduha nga tuig, or for the following year, diri ka na ma-compute nga duhan imo initial amount la. Ang may himo, dida ka na 11,000. Ibig sabihin, ang imo interest is matubo. That is why we have here the interest on interest. Kaya siya nasabi na interest on interest. Okay? Because again, exponentially na siya rather than linear, kasi yung nangyayari sa simple interest, linearly lang siya. Pero kapag sa compound interest is exponentially na siya. Okay? And in answering the problem involving compound interest, we have here the formula. So, A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to N times T. Yung naka-raise lang sa N times T is yung quantity na 1 plus R over N. Okay? Wherein P is the principal amount, R is the annual interest rate, and N is the number of times that the interest is compounded per unit. Kung nakakapira, magkukuha in interest in a year. Like for example, kung compounded annually, nakakasya na ako sa kanya nating sample. Pero kung compounded quarterly, 4 in a year, 4 times in a year, compounded monthly, so that is 12 times in a year. Okay, and T time in years. For principal amount naman, or the present value, we have P is equal to A over 1 plus I raised to NT. Yung I natin dito, yung I is only R over N. Okay? And for the interest, we have R is equal to N times A over P, then raised to 1 over NT minus 1. Okay? Yung exponent natin na 1 over N times T is exponent ng quantity na A raised tuloy. A divided by P. Okay? And for time, we have T is equal to the natural logarithm of A over P, then N times the quantity of the natural logarithm of 1 plus R over N. Yung natural logarithm actually is nasa calculator. No? May mga calculator man siguro kamo nga iyo. Okay? And let's have here an example. What is the value of an investment if 3,500 after 2 years, if it earns 1.5% compounded quarterly? So, bali, nag-invest ka ng 3,500, then after 2 years, yung kukunin natin, after 2 years, it earns actually 1.5% compounded quarterly. So, compounded quarterly. So, let's start with the given again. P is 3,500. T is 2 years, R is 0.015, N is 4. Bakit N is 4? It's because compounded quarterly siya, ibig sabihin, in 1 year, there are 4 quarters, that is why 4 yung N natin. Number of times, no, na makukuha ng interest in a year. Then A is the unknown. And to find the A, let's have here the formula. P is equal to 1 plus R over N times, raised to N times T. Then, substitute the given. P is 3,500. R is 0.015. N is 4. And T is 2. Simplify. We have here 3,600.66. Ibig sabihin, after 2 years, yung 3,500 natin na 1.5% compounded quarterly is aabot siya ng 3,606.39. Okay? And to determine the interest, para makuha na yung interest, just simply subtract the future value minus yung initial amount. So we have here 106.39. Ibig sabihin, in 2 years, yung tubo niya is 106.39. Okay? And let's have here another example. How much money should be invested in an account that earns 8% interest compounded quarterly in order to have $30,000 in 5 years. And let's start with the given. Yung future value natin, $30,000. Yung T, 5 years. Yung interest rate, 8%. Yung N is 4. Because again, compounded quarterly siya, kaya 4 yung N natin. Okay? And the P is the unknown. Then let's use the formula of P. P is equal to A over 1 plus R over N raised to NT. Then substitute. A is 30,000. R is 0.08. N is 4. T is 5. Then approximately, the principal amount is 20,189.14. Okay? I hope that everything is clear. Okay? And let's have here another example. Okay? If you deposit $5,000 into an account paying 6% annual interest compounded monthly, how long until there is $8,000 in the account? Okay, let's start with the given. Yung given sa problem, we have A is $8,000, yung P is $5,000, and R is 6%. Then N is 12 because sa problem, yung na-deposit na money is compounded monthly. So that is why in a year, 12 times siya. And T is the unknown. Then let's use the formula for T. T is equal to the natural logarithm of A over P divided by n times the natural logarithm of 1 plus r over n. Then substitute the given. A is 8,000, P is 5,000, R is 0.06, and N is 12. Simplify, and that is 7.9. So approximately 7.9 years, dapat yung itagal ng 5,000 sa bank na may 6% annual interest compounded monthly in order for that, for 5,000 na maging 8,000 siya. Okay? After 7.9 years. Klarado? No? I hope nasundan, no? And let's have another example. Suppose you invest $250 over a period of 4 years. If money is compounded monthly, what annual interest rate must you receive in order to have $1,000 at the end of 4 years? Yung unknown naman dito is yung interest. Diba? Yung interest, and let's start with the given. A is $1,000, P is $250, and N is 12. It's because compounded monthly. And T is 4 because 4 years, and R is the unknown. And let's use the formula. R is equal to N times A raised to P raised to 8 over P rather, raised to 1 over NT minus 1, and substitute the given. N is 12, A is 1,000, P is 250, then N is 12, T is 4, then simplify approximately 3.5%. Ibig sabihin, yung $250 in 4 years, kailangan may 3.5% interest siya, compounded monthly, para maging $1,000 after 4 years. Okay? I hope everything is clear. No? I hope nasundan ang process and the solution, yung explanation, I hope klarado, no? And at least na-refresh, no, on how to solve such problems. That involves compound interest. And I have here actually an example or question na pwede niyo i-solve again in your own. Then you can pause the video again. Then just replay if you have an answer just to check if you get the same answer. Okay? And the question here reads, Mr. Kang borrowed $5,200 from his friend to pay for remodeling work on his house. He repaid the loan 10 months later with simple interest rate at 7%. His friend then invested the proceeds in a 5-year CD paying 6.3% compounded quarterly. How much will his friend have at the end of the 5 years? Actually, yung problem na to, it actually involves simple and the compound interest. Bakit? Because dito, sa first part na to, no, sa first part, sa Mr. Kang, that is actually the simple interest. No, because naka-simple interest lang siya na 7% yung simple interest, yung hiniram niya sa friend niya na $5,200. Ibig sabihin, simple interest lang siya in 10 months. And again, as what I have told you a while ago, no, kanina, yung pag-solve ng simple interest is yung years, yung time is naka-year. So, bali, yung 10 months, i-convert mo siya as a year. Simple lamang naman yung pag-convert ng months sa years, no? Just simply, i-multiply yung 10 months times 1 over 12 or 10 over 12. Because in a year, there are 12 months. And after that, kapag nakuha mo na yung future value ng yung kay Mr. Kang, yun kasi, lahat-lahat kasi yung $5,200 plus yung interest na nabayaran ni Mr. Kang at 7% no, after 10 months, lahat-lahat ininvest ng friend niya, lahat ng proceeds, no? Lahat yun in a 5-year CD paying 6.3% pero compounded quarterly na siya. Okay? And that is the question. How much will his friend have at the end of 5 years? So, bali, 2 process. At least ma-practice nyo yung dalawa in one question. Yung simple at saka yung compound interest. And I will highlight here the answer and check if you get a correct answer. And the answer here is letter A. Okay? I hope nakuha nyo yung tamang sagot. And actually, you can practice more. You still have you still have a long time, no, to practice, no, about simple interest, compound, at saka po yung percentage. Because usually, ito yung na more on na nag-a-appear no ng mga questions sa business mathematics. Actually, yung proportion at saka yung ratio, hindi ko siya in-include dito. It's because sa fundamentals of mathematics and sa algebra is nandun na siya. So, yun na lang. Yung in-include ko na lang dito is yung process, no, the concept of proportion, the ratio and proportion in solving, at least na-refresh nyo yung pag-solve ng proportion in at least naka-integrate siya sa solving percentage problem. Okay? And again, that ends our review in business mathematics. And thank you, and I hope you learned something and na-refresh lahat ng ideas, no, in simple interest, compound interest, and the percentage, no? And I hope you learned something again and na-refresh lahat yun. Okay? Anyway, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening and God bless and good luck no and God bless sa exam nyo. Okay. Thank you.